What's up everyone, it's your friendly neighborhood French Canadian, and today I'm going to show you a build based around the Dark Moon Greatsword. So it's going to be an intellect build, and it's actually really strong. And because this blade is called Dark Moon, and usually it's called the Moonlight Sword in other Souls games, all the spells we're going to use will have to do with the stars and all of that good stuff. It's going to be really fun. Now keep in mind that this is an end game build, so you'll need to have reached the mountaintops of the giants, as well as the Haligtree secret area. So first we'll need the Dark Moon Greatsword, of course. And how do you get that sword? You get it by completing Ranni's questline, which is extremely long, and I know for a fact there are guides out there for it. But basically, you have to find Ranni, talk to her, say you'll help her. Then after you defeat Radagon, you have to go to the Nokron Eternal City. You'll find some stuff for her there, you have to bring them back, fight some bosses. And eventually, at the end of that questline, after literally marrying her, you will get this beautiful sword. Now the great thing about this sword is, even though it is a great sword, you only need 16 strength to be able to use it, which is freaking awesome. Now you need a 38 intellect to be able to use it as well. Basically the way it works is the Ash of War powers up the sword, gives it a damage boost, and once you charge your R2, it sends an arc forward, damaging enemies. It does a ton of damage. You can hold it for more, and you can just quickly send one out. You can also do it with one hand. And you can also chain them as long as you have the endurance, but it takes a lot of endurance. This sword also causes a frost buildup. Now mine is plus 10, so it's maxed out, and the frost buildup is only 55, so it's not significant, but it is there. Next up, a good sorcerer needs a good staff. We're going to use the Carrion Regal Scepter, which you get by defeating Rennala. So once you have a remembrance, you can go back to Roundtable Hold, and you'll be able to exchange the remembrance for the scepter. And as it is a special weapon, you can level it up just like the Dark Moon Greatsword with Somber Smithing Stones, which will be easier because they're way easier to find than the actual normal ones. Not only that, as you can see, now it's plus 9 and the intellect scaling is S. And it also boosts full moon sorceries, which we're going to use with this build. Now, if you put this staff in your main hand, you'll be able to use the Ash of War, which makes the weapon spin, and it does damage. It's really cool. For the talismans, we'll be using the Graven Mass Talisman, which greatly boosts your potency of sorceries. We'll use Marika's Scarseal, which increases Mind, Intelligence, Faith, and Arcane. We'll use the Stargazer Heirloom, which gives you plus 5 intelligence. And we'll use the Radagon icon, which shortens spellcasting time. For the Stargazer Heirloom, it's also part of Ranni's questline, so after you've defeated Radagon and gone to the city of Nokron, you'll find a blade or a dagger or something like that Ranni wants. You bring it back to her, she will give you this inverted statue. You have to put the inverted statue right here in the study hall entrance at the Carrion study hall. Once you put that, you'll be able to go through this bridge all the way down to the Divine Tower of Liurnia, and the heirloom will be on the body on top of the tower. I'll show you the path, so follow along if you're not sure where to go. Now for Marika's Scarseal, you have to come to Siofra River. If you haven't come here yet, you'll find the well to go down there in Limgrave right here. Once you're down here, you can follow me if you're not sure where to go. And you'll find the Scarseal in this waterfall right here, on this body. For the Radagon icon talisman, you need to go again at the academy, take the parlor side of Grace, then take a right, jump over the railing, go up the stairs into the broken window, and the chest will be to your right again. So to get the Graven mass talisman, you need to go to the consecrated snowfields. I show you where on the map. There's a tower there and there's a riddle to solve. Basically, you need the fanged imp ashes, which you can buy from a merchant in the academy in Liurnia of the Lakes. He's on a bridge by himself. All you need to do is fight that imp with the imp ashes you're going to summon. Now make sure to get at least one hidden before you kill them. You don't need to let the imp summons kill him, you just need to let them hit him a couple of times. Once you do that, the seal will be broken, and then you'll be able to go inside the tower, go on top, and you're going to be able to get the talisman. For the sorceries, we'll be using Glintstone Cometshard, primarily Stars of Ruin, Founding Rain of Stars, and Ranni's Dark Moon. Comet Azure will also be useful, but mostly for bosses that really annoy you and you don't want to deal with. You can get the Glintstone Cometshard from Celine. She sells it. You'll find her in the Waypoint Runes. But first you'll have to find a scroll, the Conspectus scroll, which you can find in the academy. Once you have this, you can bring it back to her and you'll be able to buy this sorcery. So for both the Stars of Ruin and the Comet Azure, you need to follow Celine's questline. To find Comet Azure, it's pretty easy and straightforward. You have to find the Primeval Sorcerer Azure in the Mount Gilmere area. So to make your way there, you need to take the Seedwater River Point of Grace and make your way up there and then go all the way back. But I will show you from the Craftsman's Shack. If you want to make your way through this hermit village, there will be a sort of mini-boss enemy here, a demigod queen or whatever, but there will be like 3 sorcerers as well, so if you want to kill her easily, you have to kill all of the ads first and then focus on her. And the sorcerer friend will be right here. Now I completed Celine's questline, so he's not here, but you talk to him. It takes a while, like he opens his hands and it takes forever, but he gives you Comet Azure. And you'll be able to take the Site of Grace to come back, because at the end of her questline you'll be able to get his armor as well. Now once Celine has her new body, you want to go to Caelid to be able to get the Stars of Ruin. So you want to go here in the Celia Hideaway. I'll show you from the Fort Feroth Site of Grace. Once you're here, you want to make your way to the big grey rock right here in front. There will be a stream and you want to just jump onto it so you don't take any fall damage. You want to make your way through this graveyard here on the left. There will be a battle mage. After you kill him, this passage will be hidden. It's like literally right in front of this tomb. You just hit it and it will be revealed to you. You don't need to kill the boss in here to finish your questline. I'll show you exactly where you need to go. And what you want to do is drop down here. You need to kill the sorcerer and he will be guarding a seal. The seal is opened with the key that Celine gave you after you went to talk to her and exhausted her dialogue. Now there will be a body here. Once you talk to him, he'll give you the Stars of Ruin sorceries. Now don't forget to come back later because you'll be able to loot that specific armor set and you'll be able to get this armor set if that's your thing. Now to get Ranni's the Dark Moon, which is basically our boss killer of this build, and again you need to have finished Ranni's questline to do so. You need to come up here to the Moonlight Altar, and you're gonna go down all the way here to the altar south. Now you're going to have to click here to activate it. It says seek 3 great wise beasts. You need to hit 3 giant turtles and I'll show you exactly where they are. Now you have to keep in mind that you cannot use a Site of Grace or the quest will bug out and you won't be able to see the turtles anymore. So you have to do this on horseback. So the first one is right here. And you'll see it because like there's gonna be a lot of turtles around. So it'll be on the side here. So you can use sorceries or a bow or whatever to hit the turtle. The second turtle will be right here down below. If you can hit it with a boat, that would be preferable because if you go down, you'll have to parkour your way up with the horse and it's doable, it's just annoying. And again, you cannot fast travel to a Site of Grace because it will reset the quest. So the third turtle will be right here. All you need to do is take this stream. You just need to jump into the turtle and it will count. Now if the quest is bugged for you and you cannot see the second turtle where I showed you, just hit the area even if you don't see it. Make sure you don't use any Sides of Grace to fast travel, but just use a bow or go down there and just hit the general area where the turtle should be and it should work and you'll be able to see the third turtle here. Now once you've done all of that, just come back to the altar, go to the top of the tower, and you'll get Ranni's Dark Moon. And I just thought it was fitting, you know, we're using the Dark Moon Greatsword that we get from Ranni's quest, so might as well use her sorcery as well. Now that you have everything, let's talk about the build stats. I have 30 Vigor, 38 Mind, 16 Endurance, 16 Strength for the sword, and 68 Intelligence. You want to prioritize Intelligence, then Mind, then Vigor, then Endurance. And obviously our stats will be higher because we're using Marika's Scarseal as well as the Stargazer Heirloom to be able to use Ranni's Moon right away. We don't have to wait to spend all of our leveling up points in Intelligence until we get to 68. Now we're using Intelligence as our primary stat because the Dark Moon Greatsword uses the Intellect as attribute scaling, as well as the Carrion Regal Scepter, as well as all sorceries being boosted by your Intellect. I want to show you something really cool about the Glintstone Cometshard we use. It actually collaterals, meaning that it does not stop on one enemy, but it will go through all the enemies that are there if they're side by side like this right here. You'll see it went through both of them, so it's really cool. Also, you can charge it up, or you can just send one out. Same with the Stars of Ruin, you can charge it up and then they'll go, or you can just do a quick one. Now the Founding Rain of Stars is basically what it says. It's a giant AoE and it does really good damage. Now Ranni's Dark Moon, which is our bread and butter, which is the boss killer. You have to keep in mind that the time it takes to cast is pretty long. So try it out a couple times before. But this is what it does. It does a big explosion. Not only does it do a ton of damage, it makes the enemies, once they've been hit by this, it makes them weaker to magic. The way you want to play with this build is pretty simple. If you're just roaming around and fighting random enemies, you want to put the buff on the Dark Moon Sword, just as a precaution if they get close to you, and you just want to use Glintstone Cometshard. And it should, you know, do a lot of damage to most enemies. Some enemies will dodge. If you encounter enemies that dodge a lot, use the Stars of Ruin. because even if they dodge it, there's a certain delay to the attack and they'll still get hit. So like, you know, for example, the NPC invaders can be really annoying with dodges, so it's really good for that. She got knocked down. That's funny. Now, if you want to fight a harder enemy or boss, you want to two-hand this greatsword and you want to use this thing because it will stance break them and you'll be able to get a free critical out of it. I mean, it will stance break them if it doesn't kill them first, you know what I mean? Oops. You don't look too happy about what just happened, honestly. So basically, Glintstone Cometshard and the Stars of Ruin are your bread and butter, what you're gonna use to just fight enemies. Founding Rain of Stars is a good AoE. Again, Ranni's Dark Moon, amazing AoE, but super good on bosses and on bigger enemies that you want to weaken to be able to do more damage to. So that's it for this build, guys. Let me know what you changed or if you're playing something similar. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching this video. If you want more Elden Ring videos, there are plenty more on my channel. Have yourself a wonderful day, and I'll see you all very soon.